Like and subscribe now, or you're gonna have bad luck this week.
Some animals are like kings. They think they rule the world and can show up anytime, anywhere. While authorities forbid indiscriminate killings, these invasive species need to be managed, or else their actions would cause a lot of destruction. Or maybe we deserve it for invading their spaces and encroaching on their habitat. This video visits 10 of the craziest giant animals that found their way into the middle of the city. You should meet them, only virtually though. Number 10. Animal takeover. Let's start with the amazing event that took place during the ongoing pandemic era. The COVID-19 pandemic has been tragic for everyone as it's resulted in many deaths around the globe and much more, like people losing their jobs or lockdowns. But believe me when I say this, the lockdown hasn't been all bad. Sure, it's a little scary and a lot claustrophobic, but there have been some positives to come out of this current world situation, like Zoom quizzes, Instagram bake-alongs, and all the tales about animals taking advantage of the drop in human activity to have a grand old time. Hundreds of pink flamingos were seen crowding in Mumbai and painting the city pink. Pelicans were also seen wandering around central London and conquering the streets. Goats were going around to McDonald's instead of humans, and even wild boars took to the streets of Barcelona. Not just that, lions even took over the roads of South Africa. It really was a wonderful time for animals around the world. Number 9. The monsters of Bangkok. Panarat was using the toilet when she felt a sharp bite on her thigh. She looked to see what had bit her, only to discover an 8-foot python. She was rushed to the hospital, where she was treated for her wound. Thankfully, authorities captured the snake, but her 15-year-old daughter found another one in the same toilet a few days later. Experts say these snakes live in this part of the city, and the residents are only borrowing their habitat. The Suvarnabhumi airport was built on a Cobra swamp, and the present town was carved out of a reptilian paradise. What do you expect? The Bangkok Fire and Rescue Department says they've been super busy in the past few years, more so than ever. Thousands of homeowners have called in distress because one monster species or another invaded their home or garden. Most of the rescued snakes are taken to a wildlife center, where they're eventually released into the wild. Thailand boasts over 200 snake species with at least 36 venomous kinds. Although an invasion is scary, they could remain harmless until provoked. Number 8. Giant python in the park. Some pythons grow to be giants, and they need to. Mother Nature strictly adheres to the survival of the fittest, and these limbless animals need to rely on their size and enormous strength to survive out in the wild. The key word there is wild. If these huge wild animals somehow find themselves within striking distance of humans, bad things happen, both to people and the snakes themselves. That's exactly what happened when a 16-foot python somehow found its way into Hong Kong-sized Kung West Country Park in 2014. In May of that year, art dealer Katie Hayring was out in the park with her son, daughter, and their 5 dogs. One of their dogs, Charlie, ran ahead of the group along the path when the python attacked him. Katie tried to fight the snake off by hitting it with her walking stick, but after realizing that Charlie was already dead, she fled with her children. The snake was then hunted down and killed as well. 2 weeks prior to that incident, another dog was attacked by a python in the very same park. The scary thing is, it's believed that a different python made the attack. In recent years, there have been 3 other python attacks in that area, which begs the question, how many of these giant snakes call the park their hunting ground? Number 7. No fear of humans. There seems to be a trend happening in Japan right now. In various parts of the country, bears are coming out of their forest homes and boldly venturing into cities, apparently showing no fear of humans. In fact, in 2020 alone, as many as 4 separate incidents have already been reported. In one of the incidents on October 19, 2020, a bear wandered into the Abio City Kaga shopping mall in the Ishikawa prefecture city of Kaga. Police reported that the bear entered through a delivery entrance and shop employees were evacuated. The animal was shot and killed after hiding inside for some 13 hours. Meanwhile, just 2 days earlier, 4 people at a hot spring near the mall sustained injuries after being attacked, possibly by the same bear. In a separate case, a man staying at Takatagawa Onsen Osenkaku, a traditional Japanese inn in the Gunma prefecture town of Minakami, was attacked by an approximately 1-meter-tall bear on October 16th. The man was walking outside to an open-air bath and suffered minor injuries after he was bitten in many places, including his left arm and right leg. Number 6. Leopard Rampage. This video will definitely give you chills. A panicked leopard attacked 5 people as it went on a rampage through a village in the northern Indian state of Punjab. Hundreds of people collected on the roofs of their houses in Lamba village in the city of Jalandhar as they watched the leopard sprint across narrow streets, attacking people in its wake. Video footage shows 2 men trying to throw a net over the leopard, which had found itself trapped in an alley. The leopard then leaps up, knocking one man to the ground, before vaulting a fence and running through the urban area, mauling several people in the process. Terrified bystanders can be seen fleeing the scene. At least 4 people were injured over a period of more than 7 hours as officials tried to catch the animal and tranquilize it. India really is a place of wonders. Number 5. Big bird, tiny raptor. The cassowary is a large flightless bird found in tropical rainforests of New Guinea and Australia. Given how dangerous these birds are, it's a good thing they don't actually find themselves in cities, right? Well, while it's true that finding a wild one roaming around the city is next to impossible, some people intentionally bring them in, often leading to tragic results, like this one Florida man found out. Back in 2019, a Florida man whose name was withheld was attacked and subsequently killed by his own pet cassowary in his home after he lost his balance and fell over inside the large bird's enclosure. The fire rescue department in Alusha County told the media that the cassowary killed the man on his property near Gainesville, in the north of the state, likely using its long claws. The victim was apparently illegally breeding the large birds. Number 4. Cows grocery shopping. It's easy to underestimate cows. Mostly they just stand around chewing, and you could confuse their contentedness for lack of ambition. But in fact, cows just know what they want. There are estimated to be about 1,100 wild cows roaming the streets of Hong Kong. Back in 2019, 4 cows stormed the aisles of a local supermarket and raided the fresh produce section. Local newspaper Ming Pao reported that the wild animals entered the Fusion grocery store in Mui Wo, headed straight toward the fruit and vegetable shelves, and treated themselves to a feast. Shoppers just kept standing around awkwardly as the invaders ate up the supermarket's supply of greens. Number 3. Colombian drug hippos. Maria woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of her scared mule. When she looked outside, she found a hippopotamus wandering around her house. This is 1 in 1,000 cases of hippos patrolling the streets unmanned. Since that night, the animal kept coming back to the streets of Doardal, a small Colombian town. It's estimated that more than 80 hippos live around Rio Magdalena, which is Colombia's principal river. These animals are the offspring of the 4 hippos the infamous Pablo Escobar smuggled into the country. He had kept them in a private zoo filled with exotic animals like elephants and giraffes. After he died in 1993, these animals were abandoned but still survived. They've since multiplied, and locals worry that the 3-ton animals may launch an attack on them. These animals are aggressive and may kill more people in a year in Africa than any other wildlife species. Doardal's residents adore these hippos, and they feel excited during their surprise visits. Their presence boosts tourism as everyone is gushing to see one of Escobar's legacies. Number 2. Elephant invasion. Environmental destruction and global warming are some of the reasons some giant animals may call the city their home. As these creatures are forced into smaller spaces, they want to survive by any means. Surviving would mean that they have to wander into human spaces. In the Indian city of Mysore, 2 elephants derailed from their usual track and found themselves on the road. They left a trail of destruction in a suburb of the city. Reports say they were separated from their herd after villagers threw rocks at them. One of the animals trampled on a man and killed several cows. When they rampaged the town, experts say they were trying to run away from a perceived threat, and in situations like that, their actions could be justified. Other experts say that cases like this show how human violence drives these animals to madness. Number 1. Bull gone loose. Torturing bulls for entertainment? Well, this time the bull got his revenge. This incident happened at a festival in the northeast of Spain. During the festival, few men were trying to dodge the bull attack and entertain the audience. But then the worst happened. A huge bull just jumped out of the arena as a group of men were trying to show off their skills. The bull didn't care for being used as a piece of entertainment. The bull jumped into the audience and went on an insane rampage. The bull charged the gates, jumped over the walls, and stampeded into the benches where the public was sitting. It attacked spectators without any mercy, left, right, and center. After that, the bull found its way to the parking lot, and havoc was unleashed. Then it made its way to the forest where it was put down by authorities with a bullet. 17 people were hurt during the incident, while one person was sent to the hospital in critical condition. Have you ever seen a wild animal roaming around your city? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.